You see the whiff, you know it's punishable. Your hand starts to move, then stops. Too late. The opportunity is now gone. A moment later, you recognize the throw. You've practiced the break hundreds of times because you've been in the lab. Your fingers twitch, but you hesitate. Too late. Then it happens again. You finally decide to attack. Halfway through the input though, you change your mind. You block instead. Now you're caught doing neither. Counter hit. Round over. You see, most players think they lost because they made the wrong decisions, but often they didn't lose because they chose wrong. They just lost because they never truly chose at all. Welcome back to How Winners Think. When people talk about improving at Tekken, they usually focus on making better decisions, such as better punishes, better movement, better timing, and all of those matter. But today we are talking about something different, because sometimes the problem isn't making bad decisions. The problem is refusing to commit to good ones. Every moment of hesitation creates uncertainty. Every moment of uncertainty costs time. And in Tekken, time is one of the most valuable resources you have. Today, we are exploring why hesitation quietly destroys performance, why confidence isn't about always being right, and why the strongest competitors trust their decisions even when they know they won't always work. Because in competition, half a decision usually becomes a full mistake. Imagine standing at a crossroads. One path goes left, and the other goes right. Neither path is guaranteed to succeed. Now imagine standing there doing nothing. Eventually, the opportunity disappears. That's exactly what hesitation looks like in Tekken. The game rewards commitment, not perfection. Every punish has a window. Every whiff has a timer. Every defensive read has an opportunity. The longer you spend questioning yourself, the smaller those opportunities become. Eventually, they are gone. The mistake isn't always choosing the wrong option. Sometimes the mistake is waiting so long that no option remains. Think about the moments that feel the worst. You start a punish, then stop. You dash forward, then suddenly block. You commit to offense, then panic halfway through. Notice what all of these situations have in common? You weren't ever fully attacking, nor were you ever fully defending. You existed somewhere in between, and that's one of the most dangerous places that you can be. Because Tekken rewards clear decisions, not uncertain ones. Half a sidestep usually gets clipped. Half a punish usually misses. Half pressure usually loses momentum. Half decisions rarely produce half mistakes. They usually become full ones. Think about everything that you have practiced. Throw breaks, whiff punishes, block punishment, spacing. You have literally spent hours building those skills. So then, why don't you trust them? Because pressure changes how we think. The moment the stakes rise, we stop trusting preparation. We start chasing certainty. But certainty doesn't exist in competitive games. No player has perfect information. The best competitors aren't confident because they know they'll be right. They are confident because they trust the work they have already done. Preparation exists so you don't have to overthink in the moment. Trust it. This might be one of the biggest misconceptions in competitive gaming. People tend to think confident players never doubt themselves. That's just not true. Because elite players doubt themselves all the time. The difference is they don't let doubt stop their actions. Confidence isn't saying I'll definitely be right. Confidence is saying even if I am wrong, I'll learn from it. That's an enormous shift in mindset, because suddenly mistakes then become feedback, not failure. And feedback is infinitely more valuable than hesitation. Imagine making the wrong read. You then eat a launcher. It hurts, most definitely. But now you know something. Your opponent challenged there. That's information. Now imagine hesitating, where you never attack, you never test your idea, you never learn anything. One mistake gave you information, the other actually just gave you nothing. Improvement requires action. Action creates feedback. Feedback creates growth. Without commitment, that entire process stops. Watch tournament players carefully. They aren't rushing. They aren't guessing wildly. But once they've made a decision, they actually just commit, even if the decision tends to fail. You know why? It's because they understand something powerful. The next opportunity is always there to come. If this punish misses, another one will appear. If this read is wrong, there will be another form of interaction. They aren't trying to avoid every mistake. They are trying to avoid freezing. Because frozen players do not adapt. They don't even gather information. They don't create pressure. They just simply wait. And waiting rarely wins anything, let alone championships. For your next ranked session, choose one situation. Maybe it's punishing a blocked move. Maybe it's just breaking throws. Maybe it's challenging after a specific string when that situation appears. Commit. Don't worry about whether you are right. Worry about whether you trusted your decision. Then, after the match, review it. Ask yourself, was the decision wrong? Not, should I have committed? Those are two completely different questions. Every competitive player wants perfect decisions, but perfect decisions does not exist. What exists though are informed decisions, committed decisions, disciplined decisions. The strongest competitors aren't fearless, they are decisive. They accept uncertainty, but they act anyways, because they know something most players tend to forget, and that is the cost of being wrong is usually much smaller than the cost of never deciding. If you remember one thing from this video, remember this, okay? Don't fear being wrong in anything. Fear never deciding anything at all. The next time you hesitate, ask yourself one question. Am I changing my mind because I learned something, or because I'm afraid of being wrong? Because those are very different reasons. One creates better players, the other creates hesitation. This has been How Winners Think. Until next time, a decision made with discipline will always take you further than a perfect decision you never committed to. Think first.